White flag row. They're off. 2 miles in front of them, the Irish stallion owners EBF maiden hurdle. It's Port Julian. First to the turn from stable companion You Oughta Know. Brave Brigadier close in third. They're followed by Royal Noble, tracked by With a Bit of Luck and Bayran next. After them is Restless Lady, the first flight. Jumping it well, the leader, Port Julian, emerged by a length to Brave Brigadier, who's tugging his way into second, ahead of You Oughta Know, followed by Royal Noble, With a Bit of Luck, and Bayran. Glen Ashling next on the inside of Restless Lady, followed round the bend by Gringo Dane. French Hill being followed on straightening by Shanron Nancy, and then Millbrook Queen, with the final couple Upper Town Hill and Guard My Fortune. Slow jump there by Glen Ashling in mid-division, as is Port Julian and Paul Townend making the running. From Brave Brigadier, Kieran Buckley third, as You Oughta Know, Danny Mullins. 2 lengths then to Royal Noble, With a Bit of Luck. Together are Bayran and Glen Ashling. In between those two is Restless Lady and the nose-banded Millbrook Queen. French Hill on the inside, followed by Gringo Dane. And Port Julian has been taken out of the race. You Oughta Know is now the new leader. Port Julian quickly dismounted by Paul Townend. That gelding has gone wrong. It's You Oughta Know on the downhill. Leading Brave Brigadier, With a Bit of Luck, and Royal Noble, Bayran, Restless Lady, Glen Ashling, Gringo Dane, French Hill, Millbrook Queen, and then Guard My Fortune. At the rear, Shanron Nancy and Upper Town Hill. The downhill flight, Brave Brigadier jumps up on terms with You Oughta Know. Couple clear of With a Bit of Luck, who's followed by Royal Noble, Glen Ashling, Bayran, Restless Lady, Millbrook Queen and French Hill, Gringo Dane and Guard My Fortune, and then Shanron Nancy and Upper Town Hill. Down the far side they go, towards the halfway stage. And in the lead is Brave Brigadier, gone on by a length and a half to You Oughta Know, another length and a half back to With a Bit of Luck, who's sharing third with Royal Noble, and Bayran, Glen Ashling, Restless Lady, French Hill, Gringo Dane and Millbrook Queen. The back three are Guard My Fortune, Shanron Nancy and Upper Town Hill, as they return to their point of departure. And it is Brave Brigadier, rejoined by You Oughta Know. They're into this flight together, followed by With a Bit of Luck, Bayran on the heels of the leaders, with them between horses Royal Noble and Restless Lady and Glen Ashling, French Hill creeping into contention, and then Millbrook Queen, who's followed by Gringo Dane, Guard My Fortune, Upper Town Hill and Shanron Nancy. Turning towards the third last flight, Brave Brigadier by half length to You Oughta Know. A break then of a length to Royal Noble. With a Bit of Luck on the outside. Hot on the heels of the leaders is Bayran, 2.5 lengths, then the Restless Lady, Glen Ashling, being followed by Gringo Dane and Millbrook Queen and French Hill, Guard My Fortune, Shanron Nancy, Upper Town Hill. As they arrive at the second last, You Oughta Know jumps back to the front from Bayran. On the inside, Brave Brigadier With a Bit of Luck staying on in between horses. Royal Noble drops back, then Glen Ashling and Restless Lady as they run round the home turn. It's You Oughta Know turning in marginally in front from Bayran round the outside of Brave Brigadier, and then With a Bit of Luck, furlong and a half to go and 1 flight to jump. And it's You Oughta Know kicking away from Brave Brigadier. Bayran With a Bit of Luck is next, but it's You Oughta Know. You Oughta Know nicely clear now at the final flight and over by 5 to 6 lengths from Bayran, who's just getting the winning battle for the second from Brave Brigadier, but it is You Oughta Know, third of the afternoon for Willie Mullins, as Daddy wins on You Oughta Know, with Brave Brigadier fighting back spiritedly on the inside to be involved in the photo finish with the second with Bayran.
Danny Mullins has had a rather interesting day, but Danny, now you're in the number 1 spot, but You Oughta Know. Just give us your thoughts on that. Obviously, the race changed completely with Port Julian dropping out.
That's it, and you know, I was actually getting a lovely lead off him because my fella is a little bit raw and green still. And then when he came out, I was left in front, and done everything wrong that could be done down the back and up the side, but you know the engine kicked in late and probably at a bit of speed when he had to concentrate was his best jump at the last.
Yeah, class did tell in the end. And what sort of horse do you think he will make up into over hurdles?
Yeah, you'd think, you know, you'd hope he'd be definitely a graded type horse. I rode him in the champion bumper last year and went out thinking I had a big chance, and he just season flattened out last year, but he started off well again this year and hopefully he can build on it.
As I say, you've had a rather hair-raising ride at times in some of the earlier races. I don't know how you haven't ended up on the deck. Is that just testament to your stickability?
I don't know. Maybe the fear. You know, we've walked the line a few times, but thankfully no falls yet. And even of some of the ones that made the mistakes, like
Olympic man, he was running some race, wasn't he?
Yeah, that was some performance. I think I would have given Paul a fright had I kept jumping. So hopefully Paul's seen the mistake and might let me ride him again.
And you're back in the Turley colours on Gok Glory in the next. Just give us your thoughts on that one.
Yeah, she ran a great race here at the festival, and you know, if we can reproduce that form, give her a big chance of winning this. You know, it's first run back and she seems in good nick at home, but yeah, reproduction of that festival form, I think we have a big chance of winning.
Lovely. Best of luck there.
Thank you.
Buddy. Cheers.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.